Hey everybody, I'm going to be playing around with the Brushless Rage today. This is the 6 FET version. Fits very conveniently right where I need it to go in our 30 pounder named 60 Seconds of Glory. This is an undersized controller for what I'm trying to do, but I'm going to try to make it work just because the form factor is so nice and it solves a bunch of different problems. We had been using a Vesk. This thing's big and bulky, kind of awkward to mess around with. We had been mounting it here. However, zip ties will only take you so far, and they were busting and it's getting sucked up in the shell. All kinds of excitement there that we'd like to avoid. If I can get this to work, you can take a Vesk apart and you can kind of simulate the same size. It's going to be some nasty soldering and still going to be pretty clumsy, but roughly the same size, maybe a little bit smaller. So I probably can get that to work if I need to. That'll be my backup plan. I have blown one of these up. I was asking a little too much of it. Again, this is a 50 amp continuous controller, and I was undoubtedly pulling a lot more than that. The shell is relatively huge. It's 12-13 pounds. You can see the burn marks from the last experiment. And it's likely that this will catch on fire too, but I'm planning on kind of ramping up to it a little more slowly and seeing how far I can take it before it gives up the ghost. I'm going to hook up some more instrumentation to it this time too, and see what kind of current I am pulling, and see if I can find some milder settings that'll maybe make this work. I do have a little work to do before I can actually use this. This board pulls off. I'll need to do that in order to solder in some headers. You also get a little bit of double-sided foam sticky stuff that can go into the sandwich here, so this board is attached a little bit better than it is now. And when you solder on wires along this line, you do have to take the heat sink off. It's a nice, beautiful heat sink, nicely machined. But in order to not have it suck up all the heat from your soldering gun, you take that off. So I'll be going through that here shortly. You do get a sticker. I've heard that this adds about 20 amps of capacity to the controller. Maybe that's what I did wrong last time, and I'll give that a shot. Alright, we're going to take this thing apart a little bit so we can do a little necessary soldering. First thing I'm going to do is take this top board off. It's kind of press fit on there with a header and some pins. Try my trusty snippers here and just kind of ease this off. It comes off pretty easy. Kind of want to do it side by side so you don't bend any of these pins. There we go. Good view of the underlying FET board. Big old capacitors here. Here's the Simon K signal board. Nice and compact. So I'm going to solder on some typical headers here and here. One of these is used to connect to your receiver. One of these is used to reprogram. So I'll solder those on here soon. But before I do that, I'll take this heat sink off. It's held on by 4 different screws. I was afraid this is going to be all sticky and messy to do, but some kind of silicone conductive pad, I'm not too familiar with the technology, that transmits the heat from the FETs or the bottom of the board to the heat sink. Charles did say that the heat sink itself is electrically isolated from the rest of the board, but if you were to remove this thing and bolt this directly to a big hunk of aluminum like I was planning on doing, this is live and you're going to run into problems there. So that's what the board looks like on the underside. Looks like it's been masked off for better conduction there. And this is the heat transfer mechanism. I think it's some kind of silicone thing, I'm not too sure, but pretty slick. Alright, I'm going to put this thing back together. It's not really obvious which way is which. I don't think it's completely symmetrical. Kind of like the way this looks better. Guess I should have paid more attention at the start. Or taken a damn picture. It's worth noting that the CAD drawing for this is a little bit off. dimensions here and here relative to the end of the circuit board don't match up. They're off as far as 100,000ths. So be aware of that. Charles is going to fix it, I'm sure, but at least as of now, they're off. So if you're as tight for space as I am, it can make a difference. So double check all your measurements. There we have it, a fully soldered up BL Rage. Here soon I'm hoping to shoot some more video of me trying a bunch of different settings and starting to push this thing and see how long it can go before it blows up again. Hopefully I can get some good settings and good data out there for everybody. So stay tuned. Bye.